Halo can't fail again. In order to talk about why Halo can't fail now, we need to talk about how Halo has failed in the past, particularly their most recent failure being Halo Infinite. This was a game that was supposed to be the next 10 years of Halo. They had Joe Staten back, a good art style, and a lot of promise. But then the game came out, and God was it underbaked. Only a few game modes and maps, no cross-core armor, you had to pay for the color blue, there wasn't even a Slayer playlist, and their reasoning for this was because of UI limitations. You know, the UI they made, no Forge or Firefight, no split screen co-op, custom games didn't work, there wasn't even a progression system. And not only that, the live service was super slow with some things taking over a year to come out. And all of this happened because of the abysmal leadership at 343 Industries and Microsoft, which lacked both vision and just the ability to even run a studio. Instead, utilizing contract work with divided teams that all felt like they were working on completely different games. Halo Infinite was a disaster, and it shouldn't have been. It was 343's last chance to give us a proper Halo game after their last two failures, and they completely dropped the ball. This studio had completely lost any faith they had left, and with that, they were shut down and the Halo community went back to sleep. But then hope arrived again. Halo Studios. A new studio made to develop the Halo games, with new leadership, an actual vision, and on top of that, a new engine. They showed us a demo of what they were working on, and it seriously looked great. This studio for once looked like they actually kind of understood Halo and its identity. This was a great video, and it kind of restored what little hope I had left in this franchise. But still, many people were very skeptical, and I mean, how can I blame them? I still am. I mean, how many times can you get crossed until you lose all trust in the franchise and the people making it? Even if it is a new studio, what's stopping this studio from repeating 343's failures? We didn't know, and we still don't know to this day. 343 made a lot of false promises, and we don't want that repeated again. And with that, we arrive at today, where this studio revealed its first Halo game, Halo Campaign Evolve, a full remake of Halo CE. Now, before I get into not only my problems, but the community's problems, I do want to state that this remake is infinitely better than CE Anniversary, and it's not even close. Like, I seriously had no idea what they were thinking with some of the decisions here. I think this remake so far looks pretty good. Not that it doesn't have problems, and I'm going to get into them, but I am seriously excited for what I'm seeing here, especially with the new cutscenes. I think they look awesome. But this is the time for feedback, and I think it's important to give it. And I've got to mention the massive elephant in the room, and it's sprint. And while I think it's cool that there's a toggle to turn it off, I think it should really be the other way around. You should have a toggle to turn sprint on with it being off by default. And I'm sure that they think this is their way of modernizing Halo CE, but that's the problem. Combat Evolve doesn't need to be modernized, it needs to be respected, and having a feature on by default that negatively affects the immersion and the flow of combat isn't modernizing Halo Combat Evolved or respecting it. It's just a net negative. And I've seen people claiming that Halo fans are just complaining for no reason, but that's just not true. I don't hate sprint, and I think Halo Infinite is the only Halo game that got sprint right. But that's the issue, is that Halo Infinite was a new Halo game, but this isn't a new game. This is a remake of a game that's older than me. And hearing that they're redesigning certain levels just to accommodate this terrible addition doesn't really sound like they're respecting the game that they're trying to remake. It just sounds to me like they don't understand it. And that's not really a promising thing to see when it comes to gaining trust from the fans. And that can also be said when it comes to the Forerunner architecture. Now, I still need to say it looks way better than Anniversary. The Forerunner aesthetic in CE is supposed to look old and abandoned. It's alien, we just don't understand it. It's really eerie and it evokes intrigue out of you. However, in Anniversary, what the fuck? Why is there so many lights? Where's the mystery? Where's the intrigue? This is something 343 didn't understand, and they didn't mostly fix it until Infinite, and then everyone who did fix it got fired. And while I do see Halo Studios doing a better job in this remake with not just shoving a million lights everywhere, they're still doing this mostly shiny metal approach. Like, none of this looks ancient at all. Like, look at this hatch. This is what it looks like in the original, and this is in the remake. Why the fuck did we over-design this hatch so much? This is supposed to open. And the coolest thing about the hatch in the original is that it looked like the Reclaimer symbol. Foehammer is supposed to fly into this hatch. How the fuck is she going to do that? How the fuck does it even open? They seriously need to rethink again for the millionth time how Forerunner architecture is supposed to look, because this just doesn't look like CE. The enemies don't either, while while I'm at it. Now, while Infinite's models fit a lot better in this remake compared to Reach's in the Anniversaries remake, they're still just an asset flip. Like, the CE models would look really good if they just upgraded them. But this is another remake where they just aren't doing it, or at least haven't done it yet. Just remake the original models. I don't even know why I have to say that, because I think it should be fucking obvious, but it just gets on my nerves. There's also a bunch of weird ass changes. Like, look at the Needler. Why is there an ammo counter on the gun? It's ugly as hell, first of all. Second of all, we already have one on the HUD, and on top of that, the fucking needles missing on the top of the gun already show you visually how much ammo is in it. Genuinely a stupid oversight. One thing I did like was how much blood is everywhere, but here's the thing. There's not much visual feedback outside of it. Like, we're back to using hit markers as a replacement for visual feedback, and I don't like that. Like, the biggest example was Elites with their shields. You can see them, and if you shoot them enough, the shield pops. And then afterwards, you see them bleeding while you shoot them. You could visually gauge how much damage you were doing. And given there wasn't hit markers, you actually had to pay attention to that visual feedback. But now, you just look at the hit markers and that's it. I'm happy to say that there is new content. Like, there are 3 prequel missions coming with the Chief and Sergeant Johnson. There are new weapons coming as well. And on top of that, there are new flood forms coming as well. And that's really cool. But in my opinion, new content doesn't matter all that much to me if you can't get the base content done right first. And that should really be the focus here. And I'm still going to say that this is a pre-release build, so stuff like the enemy AI, I do expect to change and get a lot better in a year from now. But they really do need to focus on the changes that this remake needs in order to be successful. And all of this ties into the title of the video. Halo can't fail again. And what I mean when I say this is that right now we are in a critical moment. This series has sucked for over a decade. 343 didn't understand Halo and made a shit ton of false promises.
A lot of learnings from that, and I would say for any FPS going out forward, we will always have split screen in going forward.
Don't make a girl a promise if you know you can't keep it.
They crippled this franchise trying to appeal to a wider audience when that goal was fucking stupid. This franchise already had a wider audience. Halo 3 was the biggest entertainment launch in fucking history when it came out. Halo already had a wide audience, and what it needed to do was stick to the core of what it was, instead of turning into whatever the hell Halo 5 was. The point is that 343 and Microsoft ran this franchise into the dirt, and Halo Studios needs to do something different. They need to understand Halo and what makes Halo work, and they need to build and maintain trust with its already established audience. Because if they can't even get a remake right, what makes us think they can do Halo 7 properly as well? We need faith. Otherwise, we're going right back to the same old 343 bullshit all over again, defeating the entire purpose of this new studio in the first place. Alright, so this was originally supposed to be the end of the video, and then this bombshell got dropped that apparently Halo Studios intends to use generative AI as a pillar in their development of Halo.
Walt, please just hear me out, please.
Can the Halo community win at least one time? Just once. I don't even think I need to spill out how bad this is. This studio hasn't even launched a game yet, and the first things we see from them is a concerning remake of Combat Evolved, and that they plan on throwing AR slop our way. And it's not like Bungie is doing much better either right now. But anyway, while now the chances of them failing are getting higher with every passing day, I still want this studio to succeed. If Halo Studios can't even get a remake right, if they can't even reach the low fan expectations, if Halo fails again, I think I'm going to give up hope on Halo at that point. It has been years and years of false promises, false hope, and I can't blame the people who have already given up hope after Halo Infinite. And so the only thing we can really do at this point is go back to sleep and wait for the release of the remake while hoping and praying for the best. But anyway, bye.